Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming and welcome to another Path of Exile video. Today I'm going to go over the much requested Righteous Fire Trickster. It placed second in the poll I put out recently and a lot of people said they wanted to see it. It's one I wanted to play myself and I've played it up to level 87. Now, I'm going to go over in this video leveling, I'm going to go over the skill tree, I'm going to go over the gearing, all that kind of thing, and at the end I will do a demonstration and a map, so watch out for that and let's get into it. Alright, so here is my mostly completed, not entirely completed, I'm going to level them up a little bit more, get some more life nodes, but mostly completed, Righteous Fire Trickster, a Men on Fire, and I have leveled him with completely different skills. I didn't actually start using Righteous Fire until level 74, I believe, so I went a long way, and even then I had to buy a level 20 Purity of Fire in order to get it going. It's certainly a lot harder to get started as compared to when you're on the Marauder side and you're playing maybe a Juggernaut or something, because of all of the proximity to all of the regen that the Marauder gets naturally, whereas for the Shadow you have to travel all across the tree. You do get some regen here in the Growth and Decay and also Resourcefulness, but because you also get some built-in energy shield, it kind of makes you have to have a higher life regen threshold in order to get started. And so going through there, I actually, when leveling up, leveled up exactly as I was going to. I went all the way through these nodes. I actually started traveling down right away, but as soon as I got Bane, I actually used Stormbrand to level initially because, you know, I got the elemental nodes, may as well do that. But once I got access to Bane, I went through the damage over time, grabbed Resourcefulness, Lethal Assault, and then went up and got the non-ailment chaos damage over time multiplier, and that's literally all of the damage I got up until level 75. So for Bane, I literally had these three nodes, this one, these two, this one, and these three, and no other damage nodes throughout the rest of the game up until level 75. So then what I did, and I respect this whole tree, but basically I kind of came up here and then I tried to beeline it to up through to the Templar area, and I think I actually initially came up around here so I could grab this regen, and I came down and I ended up getting the AoE, of course, for Bane, and that was, I got a little bit more damage here and here, I suppose, but outside of that, basically nothing. And then I shot down here and pathed up through here and got I just started picking up all of the regen I could. And at some point, I ended up respecking out of the 3 points I had here. I think I pathed around here to grab Barbarism. Respect out of those because I found this to be a little bit better pathing. It saved me a point. So, got that going. And then I still wanted to make sure I got Elemental Equilibrium and Elemental Overload. And then I just started picking up life and jewel slots from there. I got, you know, burning damage and life wherever I can. Not super expensive jewels. At the time I didn't have a ton as far as currency, but then I started selling a lot of stuff and I was able to afford some more expensive items. As you can see, I got a Kaum's Heart, I got a burning damage, consecrated effect, helmet, and managed to make that all work out. I have an okay, I guess, scepter here with the fire damage and the elemental focus, which gives more elemental damage. Nothing crazy, but got all that going, and that was pretty much the leveling process. And honestly, leveling with Bane was great. Sometimes I was like, maybe I shouldn't make this character, maybe I should just go Bane. But either way, I did end up going Righteous Fire, and my transition to Righteous Fire required me to, you know, pick up a lot more life. And so I'm just going to go over some of the gear here and talk about what I did. So I had actually found this Marvel amulet, and I ended up throwing an essence on there, a fire damage essence. I don't remember which one that is, but I managed to get life and mana. So I just decided, or no. I actually alt spammed it. I'm sorry. Otherwise, I couldn't have gotten the 3 properties. So I alt spammed it for, I think, life and the fire damage, and then I managed to regal on some mana, and then I crafted on some cold resistance that I needed. And the Marble Amulet, along with the level 20 Purity of Fire, which I bought, and that's important because level 19 has 3% additional fire resistance, whereas level 20 has 4%, so that jump is actually pretty big. And you can start using this at level 70, so if you're going to do something like this, even if you're going to do it on a Juggernaut instead, I would recommend buying a Purity of Fire. Even though you can get away with not doing it, I would highly recommend just grabbing a Purity of Fire for sure. And then I have Vitality, which I'm actually just leveling up naturally. I didn't find the need to get a level 20 or 21 Vitality. Optimally, I'll have a level 21 one at some point. But yeah, I started purchasing gear. Got this pretty decent, 87 life, 30 move speed, double resist boots. Really solid. Got a Stygian Vice with a really basic. I didn't want to risk regaling this. It's just all resist, which I needed, and then 34 life. I didn't want to regal it because I want to make sure that my shield charge has that 2 to 31 lightning damage, and if I rolled accidentally flat fire damage on it, then it would ruin my elemental equilibrium. So I'm just keeping it as is, life and all resist for now. So in total, this belt's giving me, whatever it ends up being, 109 or 119 rather life, some fire resist, and then all resist, and armor is nice as well, a little bit extra regen. I got these gloves, just highest life I could find for a reasonable price, which is 110 plus 23 strength, so that adds another 11 and a half life on there. I don't think you can have half life. This is where I'm getting my lightning damage to attacks as well. You can either get that on an abyssal jewel or on one of your pieces of jewelry or on your gloves or weapon. Any of those work, as long as it is lightning or cold damage and not fire damage, so that we can shield charge into things and hit them with our shield charge for a little bit of elemental damage, and that'll lower their fire resist. Since Righteous Fire isn't a hit, it won't proc elemental equilibrium, so they'll continue taking the damage as if they had minus 50 or whatever it is. 50? Yeah, minus 50 fire resist. So really important for increasing your damage there. I picked this up. It was relatively cheap. I could probably get a little bit of a better one. But overall, I wanted to make sure I got the elemental focus was the main point. And then it also happened to have fire damage, and it was on an Opal Scepter, which has the 40% elemental damage, which is very high. So I just went with the total elemental damage. Worked out pretty well. This was somewhat expensive at the time since it was fairly early on in the league. Good thing about this is because it has burning damage and conk effect, it gives the burning damage, extra burning damage, and extra area damage. For those of you who don't know, Righteous Fire will scale off fire damage, elemental damage, damage over time, and area damage. I believe that's it. It will not scale off of spell damage, even though it is technically a spell. It isn't a hit, and for some reason doesn't scale off spell damage, so spell damage is useless on it. Trying to aim for any kind of spell damage to pump up its damage values doesn't really work out. And then we crafted some life on there. It's not the most life in the world. It's pretty low, actually. We're using a Rise of the Phoenix. Honestly, for defense against better things, or for other things, we could easily switch to a Sappho's Frame if we want, which would give +4 to all maximum resistances, which would give us a lot better defenses against cold and lightning damage as well. Pretty substantial, and it's something I'm considering. I may do, but for now this is working out just fine. It does have the life. We don't have as high life as I want just yet. once I hit 90, 92 or so, I plan on picking up the Blood Drinker clusters, which is, you know, a pretty hefty 20% life here. So once I level up next, I'll grab this Dex, and then I'll probably just spec out a 4 of these, because it'll be an even 20% life for 20% to get into those, and then I'll just pick them up as I level up. So next level I'll have the same amount of life, but then I'll start ramping up quickly after that. And that is pretty much my only plan. I only have up to, what will that be, 92 planned out. I hope to get this character up to level 95 at some point, but I guess maybe I'll just pick up Elemental Focus or something. I'm not entirely sure, or maybe the damage over time nodes. I think Elemental Focus is actually 26 as compared to 24, so overall more damage, plus you get the avoid elemental ailments chance, so that's definitely going to be the option we go for if we're going to pick up a couple of damage nodes here. And that is pretty much it for the tree. So yeah, the tree is just through here, up through here, go over, grab all of the regen. I guess I didn't talk about combat stamina. That one's pretty important because it's a sizable chunk, like 1.8 for 3 plus some life and armor. I do get the Arsonist, which is a nice little combination fire damage regen, and Barbarism's very, very important. Probably one of the most important groups of nodes that you can get. Also plan on getting Art of the Gladiator at some point. Increase my shield charge speed. I'm pretty fast so far anyway, but I can be faster. Still go a little bit faster than this. Alright, so let's go with links. I currently have Scorching Ray with burning damage and efficacy, which is also linked with the level 16 elemental focus. So it's functionally a 4 link. Currently only does, where's the damage on that thing? Just short of 16,000 damage per second. The main reason we use it, though, it's supplemental, is for the 25% minus fire resistance from the exposure. Oh yeah, and I have Calm's Heart. I didn't go over that. Calm's Heart was an Exalt. I don't have a max fire damage roll on it. It's kind of a middling fire damage roll. I don't really feel like divining it. I don't even have any divines. I think I sold them when I was running low on chaos, but I've recouped my chaos a little bit. May as well finish going over my gear since I was talking about it. Yeah, the reason I want to do this as kind of more of a ramble talk through is because I want to focus on doing some beginner's guides next week, so that's kind of why this is a little bit more rambly. So let me know what you think about that, if you'd rather see the more structured guides or if you'd rather have more of a free-flowing discussion type thing. Yeah, this is a pretty decently nice ring. It's got chaos resist, it's got a decent amount of total resist, 77 life, it's not bad. This one's not as good, but you know, I don't really think it needs an upgrade too much. I can craft another prefix, but I don't even think I have any worthwhile prefixes at the moment. I'll keep doing my betrayal stuff and seeing if I can get something nice to do on there, but yeah, eventually I can upgrade some of this gear. I'm definitely wanting to push over 8,500 life, maybe 9 or 10,000 if I really want to push hard on it. Maybe use some fossil crafting to get up there with some of the life fossils, but for now I think this is pretty okay gear for where I'm at. One of the things I've noticed, oh yeah, I'm getting into links, but one of the things before that I've noticed is that the lack of endurance charges. I may put a 4th link on this and just toss Enduring Cry. That'll absolutely max me out as far as my links here. Oh yeah, and for those of you who don't know, actually I'm gonna do a video on this in the future anyway, talking about how to do off-color links very easily, but as you can see I have an armor evasion helmet that is 4 blue and a gloves that are 4 blue as well. There is a method using the crafting bench, but I do plan on doing a video that is going to touch on that in the near future, so I'm just gonna kind of save that for now. Sorry about that, but don't want to spoil my own videos, and I'm sure you can probably find a video out there, but it'll just be a component of my video. So yeah, I think I'll put the 4th link on this guy, put an Enduring Cry. I feel like the lack of endurance charges is very noticeable at this stage, and So yeah, my links in this are Flammability, Curse on Hit, Increase Critical Strikes, and Stormbrand. And the reasoning for this is, so I didn't go over my Ascendancy Tree, but we do have Swift Killer here. It's the last Ascendancy you get. You get it in the Uber Lab. Around the same time you pick that up, you want to go up and grab Elemental Overload. And so basically this is going to give you free power charges, which is going to increase your crit chance. Elemental Overload will make it so that if you've crit in the past 8 seconds, if you've crit in the past 8 seconds, you get 40% more elemental damage, but you have no crit multi, and you can't do damage multiplier for ailments, which doesn't really matter for us. So we're going to use this setup. We're going to use this setup to do two things. So Stormbrand, we're going to put it on a group of enemies or on a boss. It is going to apply Flammability with Curse on Hit, and it is also going to have crit strikes. So between that and the power charges, we're going to get a lot of crits with it. It's going to hit very frequently, and it's going to stay on the boss for an extended period of time, for 5 seconds. And then we'll just lay down another one. That'll give us 40% more elemental damage. That's a huge multiplier. We're also getting an additional multiplier to our damage over time, 20% for Prolonged Pain. And this allows us to scale way more damage than Juggernaut can get. Or Marauder. Some people do this as a Berserker as well. Way more damage is able to be scaled because of these things. Plus you just get a flat damage over time with more regen. Now the recovery rate of life doesn't seem to scale properly with life regen. I've tested it on both the Belt and Patient Reaper, and it only seems to affect your base regen. And I don't know if that's a bug or what's going on with that, but from my experience, it only seems to affect your base regen in the tooltip at least, and I don't feel a notable difference other than the immediate ones that I get on kill. So that's just something like 70% increase on my regen, which is 1,198 per second, should be a huge amount. You know, that should be 800 plus more regen. I should be over 2,000, but I don't go up to that. I go up to like 1,210 or something like that. It seems like a very menial rise, which I think is unfortunate. I don't know if that's a bug, but yeah, the first two Ascendancies we take are Patient Reaper and Prolonged Pain. That'll go along with the Bane that we're leveling with. Then we go Weave the Arcane, because it makes movement skills free, and once we go to Shield Charge, being able to Shield Charge really fast for no mana is really great. Really solid. Yeah, and another nice thing about Swift Killer is you gain a power charge or frenzy charge each second while channeling, and frenzy charges do actually give us another more multiplier to our Righteous Fire, so that's pretty big. You can see up in the corner my charges are going up, and yeah, that's really nice, really convenient. So able to just generate those charges very easily. You can generate them before a boss fight if you want, if you feel like you're gonna have difficulties burning it down otherwise. And that's pretty much that. So yeah, the next one we have is our Righteous Fire itself, which we have linked with increased area of effect, efficacy, and elemental focus. And we also have it linked with burning damage and consecrated effect. Optimally, you want the higher tier ones here. You want the level 20 burning damage and level 20 consecrated effect, but we got lower rolls. Also optimally, you want higher life. I don't think I can really afford a better helmet than this at the moment, so this will have to do me for now, but yeah, this is pretty solid. And if you can't afford a Calm's Heart or the helmet like this, you can just look for a 5 or 6 link. If you have a 5 link, you want very high health and preferably some armor as well. And you want as high health as you can get. Maybe you can get one of the temple ones that also has % health, or maybe you can fossil craft % health and life regen using the delve, the fossils, the life one. I always forget what it's called, but yeah, you can use some fossil crafting to get a better one. But if you can only get a 5 link, you want to go with Righteous Fire, efficacy, elemental focus, burning damage, and for mapping, increased area of effect, and for bossing, you'll switch it out with consecrated effect. So That'll be your setup, and once you get a 6th link, you can have both Consecrated Effect and Increased Area. That way you don't have to switch things out. There isn't really a great 6th link for this, unfortunately. So that's pretty much the way that we're going to have to run it. And so we have all of our links pretty much set up. I've talked about gearing. I've talked about pretty much everything. I'm just going to quick ID some of this stuff and vendor it. Clear out my inventory for a second here. Alright. So I'm not picking stuff up. I'm going to turn my loot filter up a little bit. So put it up on uber strict, and we'll just run a map here. Let's go with, we'll go with one I haven't completed yet. Now, it does get a little sketchy on tier 13s currently for this character. I might have to do a couple of levels. Elemental Equilibrium, Endurance, reduce flash charges. This is fine. Maybe I should also have a better flask setup. Yeah, this is all very much a work in progress. I almost forgot to Vaal it for completion. Okay, unidentified. Well, if it's unidentified, this could be really bad. I'm going to run it, but if it's decreased regeneration, then we're just going to have to... I'll have to cut the video, go clear it on my other character, and then come back. So let's just hope that it isn't. We'd be able to tell right away. It is not reduced max or LE resist, but yeah, basically what we'll be doing is we'll be going around for these for the most part. We can, you know, kind of weave in. We don't really need for a trash clear to do anything but lay down the storm brand. Pretty simple. We can just lay down a couple of storm brands across the map. We get that free flammability. We have elemental overload, as you can see, increases our damage quite substantially. And we want to try to shield charge into things. Ooh, a unique Vanguard belt. That's pretty cool. Perseverance, nice. All right. But yeah, we'll just kind of throw our storm brand down. We got ourselves an invasion boss. It goes down pretty quickly. Lots of walls make it difficult for shield charge. Pretty difficult. Alright, so clear this out here. Looks like we didn't get very hard mods, but that's okay. And for these, we're just going to charge through the biggest packs. Don't really like to stop too much, but... And shield charge doesn't go over those, so I just took a risk of ending this pretty quickly here. Nice thing about shield charge, it scales with your movement speed as well, so if you go ahead and hit your quicksilvers while you're shield charging, you're going to go around a lot faster. Oop, and I'm stuck. Alright. Well, not the best in the world. Alright, got the Baron. Pretty cool. Get ourselves a couple of nice little uniques here. And get ourselves a Parandus box. Yeah, I definitely should be using some better flasks for stuff here, but I'll get that all set up. This isn't meant to be a super formal guide, just a general overview. And maybe I'll do a full super in-depth guide, but I think I covered everything I wanted to cover, to be honest. It wasn't the most detailed thing in the world, but I did get everything in my own rambly way. So this will pretty much be it. We'll try to cut through to the boss a little bit here. I'm gonna have to skip over a portion. I'll go back and clear it over afterwards. I don't want to have you guys waiting here. Oh man, it's so hard to shield charge through these areas. So difficult. So yeah, we'll just kind of rush through the best of our ability. I am stopping for the Parandus chest though. Pretty simple. We don't lose a lot of life. The Trickster life gain on kill keeps us topped off in these big packs, which is really nice for high monster density. It makes it pretty good for this flashback event with how many different league mechanics there are in it. In every single zone you get a fairly large additional amount of packs. Got ourselves an invader here. And it takes down rares even in tier 13s here pretty reasonably quickly, as you can see. Now we got ourselves Duresso, and he'll do a lot of physical damage to us, but it's fine. Oh yeah, and we have Vaal Righteous Fire. I didn't even mention that. We have Vaal Righteous Fire for bossing. I should have. It's a huge damage boost. It does way more damage than just your standard Righteous Fire does. Honestly, it's huge, absolutely crazy. So I would recommend using Vaal Righteous Fire. So yeah, that was a tier 13 boss. Pretty easy, not too difficult. Those are the same thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming. If you did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, like, etc., share, you know, watch all of my other videos in a playlist. I will see you guys next time. Bye!